Hi, everyone. My name is Vikram Peter, and I am a recent graduate from an urban science and data program. And I'm here today to voice my support for the MTA Open Data Initiative. There's a problem, there's a current solution, and there's a future. In the past, the open data wasn't as clean. The data sets required a lot of manipulation. I also had to manually go and do it. Looking at the initiatives which are being done right now, the open data team's release of, say, the hourly data for ridership is quite impressive, and it helps us people working with data quite a lot, and that's something that I'd support. And in the future, I'd like to emphasize that the MTA should definitely support these sort of initiatives. And here's something more on a personal plea. I've spoken, experienced, and studied transportation systems and agencies in other parts of the world as well. And something that is definitely a need right now is not only using data to look what's in the past, but also predictive sort of modeling and science. And that when you release data sets like this, it definitely helps us. I think this is a case that needs to be made for, okay, when we work with this sort of data, we look at not only just general transit flows, but it helps us look at things like addressing accessibility in terms of availability of transit to different communities, social economic problems, and general quality of life. And again, I'd like to reemphasize my support for the program of open data at the MTA. Thank you.
Thank you for your remarks. Our next speaker will be John Padula, followed by Yuki Endo over Zoom.
I just lost my time. It is what it is. Do you want us to tell you?
Yes.
The table
I can.
at 30 seconds, or give me a nudge.
Yes.
Which way am I looking? Is a camera?
Straight ahead.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the board, Chair Lieber. My name is John Padula. It's actually kind of frustrating to have to do this. I actually spent time preparing my remarks and preparing for these meetings, and I took traditional Accessoride this morning, and obviously that didn't work out too well, so I wound up here late in a $45 Uber. Chairman Lieber, given all the phase 2 frustrations, I actually just planned on giving you a suggestion and just providing you with a reasonable idea, something that maybe we can all meet on in the middle. You have two different programs for phase 2. You have the distance and you have the volume. Either way you do the math, 25 times 40 equals 1,000. That's $1,000 subsidy for on-demand access. To me, the only fair way to give reasonable access to the 5 boroughs is to maybe create a third group that's a flexible group, and you allow us that set subsidy of $1,000, and you permit us to book trips as we need, spontaneously, autonomously, based on our monthly needs. And it's up to us to budget those trips, whether it's a $13 trip or a $70 trip or a $100 trip, but we have access to that and to those distances. And once we run out of the subsidy, then we're done for the month. But it's up to us to be responsible, to budget, and to manage that access. If you treat us like adults and give us a little respect and a little autonomy, I think that data will also be valuable. Look, I heard it said that freedom is the ability to choose. Well, autonomy is the path to that freedom. So I ask the ladies and gentlemen of the board and Mr. Lieber to meet this community halfway and give us a little bit of autonomy. Thank you.
Thank you for your remarks. Our next speaker will be Yuki Endo over Zoom, followed by Michael Gilbert over Zoom.
Nanin is Yuki Endo, member of the Passenger United 88. I do not support fare increase and elimination of the authentic ticket because you mistakenly cut the Brooklyn Bridge as a sheltering weekdays. Also, the non-aggregator need to work together with the New York City DOT to install stop sign near to the pedestrian with the crosswalk between the Atlantic Avenue Air Station and the eastbound Long Island Railroad platform at the East New York. Some people on the alternate side of the sidewalk next to the shuttle train because the through traffic won't get right of the way because they are in rush to catch green light. And also again, Long Island Railroad Metro North combo ticket at the expand senior citizen disabled as well. Please include weekend Long Island Railroad shuttle bus between 4 Park Hicks during the Neyland shutdown. If the alternative ticket cannot be saved, please make a city ticket $5 combined all day with free transfer to the MTA night bus line along with the hosting for the bus network redesign that also affects access right. I do not support elimination of the B2 Q41 Saturday bus car and the BN Express buses, including weekend X27, CK Coney Island X28, but I do support Q52 extension to the 74C, but the extend to 65C to keep the Q53 as it is. B57, I agree with the extension to Jackson High at Astoria Boulevard, get the Jackson High left section. And also excited for the
Please conclude your remarks.
bus ride. Thank you.
Thank you for your remarks. Our next speaker will be Alita Dupree, followed by Lucy Coteen.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair Daniel Lieber. Alita Dupree, for the record, she and her. I hope you can hear me okay. Yes, I'm going to try to save the best for last. I'm not like the many who spoke today. I try to bring you positive energy. And I appreciate that in my 3 years of speaking with you, the welcome that I get from you as a board and on this system. Not real happy about a fare increase, but I understand. It's not as much as the one at BART. BART is doing 11% over 2 years, 5.5 for each year. We have to do something. And the work of ADA is just going to be steady, long, continuous work. I'd like to see it get done sooner, but I am seeing evidence of it getting done. And I want us to continue to think big. I believe in the idea of a renewable energy powered subway and continuing our work with Omni. And I did read over the fare and toll schedules. They're not perfect, but I think they would work for me, especially as I want to do more commuter rail. As I've been practicing out here in California, and I'm not here with you, I'm in Northern California where it's actually kind of cool, cool temperatures. And, you can never have enough Grand Central Terminal. I miss the place. We don't have anything like that here in California. But I continue to uphold the idea that I believe in this system that holds to legendary and stately ideals. And I hope to be back soon and use Omni and enjoy the system I have for 53 years. Thank you.
Thank you for your remarks. Our next speaker will be Lucy Coteen, followed by Vincent Padula.
Good morning, MTA board. I wish you were still here. I speak again to talk about the problem of congestion pricing. I am thoroughly opposed to it. I think it's a mistake. Many have asked for a deep forensic audit of the MTA to help it to examine its waste and to eliminate it. MTA, another tax on the people here will hurt businesses, residents, families, and will cause more working people to leave the city. We all already pay a tax for the MTA on our utility bills. When will it stop? There's no accounting of how unfair this is to the residents who live in the district. Will now have to pay just to return to their homes. There's no accounting for that. They chose those places to live many generations ago, and now they're being taxed just to take a family trip or work, and then return to their home. There's no accounting of how it will isolate people when friends and families will no longer visit them and pay these high fees, friends and families from out of town. There's no accounting of how it will increase congestion in surrounding areas. For instance, thousands of people live just feet away from the FDR, and many have parking lots and garages. They are not going into the center city. They have to pay just to enter their own garage, a few feet from the FDR or the West Side Highway. These are not rich people. They are not adding to congestion. They are denied the ability to travel freely from their chosen home. It is arbitrary and capricious, this tax. It will destroy the Lower East Side and Chinatown. No one's going for Saturday and Sunday dim sum with the whole family anymore into Chinatown. No one's stopping for a brief takeout in Chinatown anymore as they travel down the FDR. Congestion pricing is harmful
Please
to all
conclude
of
your
us.
remarks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your remarks. Our next speaker will be Vincent Padula, followed by Iris Kelly.
On that.
Wait, yeah, which is straight ahead, is that way good? Or towards your voice?
Straight ahead.
Straight ahead, like at the like facing the table is good, right?
Yes,
Okay, wonderful.
you're good.
Okay. My name is Vincenzo Girolamo Padula, son of immigrant Italians from Calabria. My dad and my mom came here and were hit with the shock of having their firstborn son dealing with blindness, something called Leber's that both my brother and I face. And my mother always said, America is the place. If my son's going to have to face a disability, America is the place that's going to take care of my son, that will look after my son. I found out about Accessoride through another beautiful woman by the name of Rosalba. Rosalba was an abortion survivor. She was aborted and lived to tell about it. She was unfortunately confined to a wheelchair. And in 2000, she told me about Accessoride and said, yeah, it's a great program. It's broken, but we'll help Vinny. Try it out. I met her in church, strong praying woman. Fortunately, she left us early 2000s, and I still remember to this day. And from then to now, the game of whack-a-mole is still going on. Everybody remember whack-a-mole? You hit here, then it goes there. You hit there, it goes there. Everyone remembers that fun game. So in 2000s, when the trips were congested, you were offered a taxi authorization or a voucher or something else. And then they would try something else. And then they put on brokers. And then they would try this and they would try that. Finally, we find something that works. The on-demand program since 2017. COVID happened. So now we have a phase 2. Will we do the right thing? Will we continue to play whack-a-mole? My mother would hope you do the right thing. We're human beings. We've heard so many stories. My brother suggested something that would work. The subsidy. I was told that that $1,000 is a cap, not a subsidy. I'm hoping it would be a subsidy. Chicago had to file a class action suit. Do we have to do that? They have an on-demand program. I would love my data to be pulled. I would love to see if I did traditional service, how much would it have costed you? No one's counting. The bean counters aren't counting the savings using an on-demand distributive service. And I think this can work. And I think there's tons of money that was wasted on traditional service. And people made tons of money off the backs of the disabled, where the city had to say 10% cap on the profits. So at this point now, I'm hoping we have a sustainable on-demand program that will be equitable, that follows ADA guidelines, which is not being done.
Thank you for your remark. Our next speaker will be Iris Kelly, followed by CN.
Did I?
Oh, I have it. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
I was like,
I apologize. Okay.
Where do I speak?
Straight ahead.
Okay. Okay, my name's Iris Kelly, and I have many issues with accessified elevators, everything else you can think of. First of all, the elevators that need to be fixed always get maintained. Because I even see people at the railroad saying they need to get downstairs. I have the elevator. They said, no, it's broken. That don't help any. Then with the accessoride, I have issues where I get to work every day on time, leaving from my house. But now I change my half an hour difference to come from the gym. I need a time 7 o'clock, get me by 8 o'clock. They won't do it. Only if I get 8:30, they're gonna be 7 o'clock pickup. to get me on time. But if there's a black car picking me up, they put something else on my route. They go first. And I get home back and forth 9:30. I'm supposed to be in by 8. And this is a disgrace. Then for the railroad, they need to put back where they had all trains going home to Land Terminal on track 3. It's always right before the thing even happened. They changed it. It was fabulous. But no, they added tracks 11 and 12. That's no good to me. It's better if we have them on tracks where they were before. But that's making connections back to back or crossing each other on the railroad on track 7 and 8. 11, 12 is okay for the terminals going to Penn Station or Grand Central. Go train to the plane, plane to the train would make more sense. And then leave us on track 3, and then we always have the connections we always have. It's very simple to make, nothing's long hours waiting. And then the seatbelts for the MTA along the railroad, accessory ride in the vans especially, they do not work. Pull it up, move away a little bit, going under it. Just that bill 1,000 times over. And that's all I can think of. Thank you.
Thank you for your remarks.
Okay.
Thank you for your remarks. Our final speaker today will be CN.
No, there is not. So you're gonna look straight ahead. Once you sit, look straight ahead.
I guess talk loudly.
Yeah.
I'm a little hard of hearing, so you have to let me know when to start, when to finish.
Okay, he's going to tap on the table like this. Okay.
Is that the 30 seconds?
That's it. Get
And then
30
you
seconds.
tap again to finish, right?
I could do both 30 and when you're done.
Okay, he'll do both.
So now,
He'll do both. He'll do it when you're at 30 and when you're done. Okay?
is he gonna let me know when to start?
Yes, he's gonna do it when it's time to stop. You're gonna hear this.
Okay.
Okay?
Hi, so, I started going to a food pantry recently and a soup kitchen, and I'm worried about the increase in the e-health on demand price from the regular Subway fare up to $4. This is gonna make it more expensive for me to travel to such a vital service as the food pantry. You could say, well, why don't you take the regular access ride bus? But the problem with that is with the regular access ride bus, you have to wait an hour for your pickup. And unfortunately, the food pantry that I go to doesn't allow people to wait. It has nowhere for people to sit down and wait or any AC or anything like that during this hot summer. So that's their policy, not to allow people to wait around. So that's why it's really important. Not only that, but the food pantry I go to actually has perishable goods such as milk and meat products and fish products. And, it's important to get those products back to the refrigerator as soon as possible. So I'm hoping that maybe we could have the fare go back to the Subway price and not go up to $4, as it's going to be a big issue for me going to the food pantry and the soup kitchen. And food insecurity is, it's a big thing here in the city. The price of food has gone up, and I really would like to continue going to these vital programs in the city. So I really hope someone does listen to this. I, put my faith that you guys will hear this, but thank you very much.